And what I'm going to do today is I've got a fairly brief deck. I know you guys everyone on the call has seen plenty of decks, so I'm going to try to focus this webinar really around a hands-on demo, but I do have a number of slides I like to show to kind of set the stage and kind of talk about what we've done. So I'm going to first talk about kind of how what we're referring to as the Business Objects Accelerator package, how it fits into our overall reporting solutions, because we do offer many different solutions for PPM. And then we'll spend the majority of the time doing a demo. It probably won't take more than probably 30 minutes to go through everything, maybe 40 minutes, so there'll be plenty of time for questions at the end. So let me first show you some of the things that we do here at Results Positive, and I'm going to go and just bring up the whole slide. Kind of starting at the bottom, this is really going to be our focus for today. We're going to talk about operational reporting, and that's where we've developed a new Accelerator package for PPM using business objects. Some of the other things that we've done on the operational side is we also do a lot of work around custom PPM dashboards within PPM, as well as custom portlets. And then as you move up the stack, we also do a lot of work with executive scorecard, which tends to kind of bridge the gap between analytical reporting and strategic reporting at the top. We also have another solution that we provide, which is a Cognos solution, which is called Project Portfolio Intelligence, or PPI. It's very similar to Business Objects, but it's for those customers who are a Cognos shop and would prefer to go with the Cognos route instead of Business Objects for PPM reporting. And then at the top, we have Executive Scorecard. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. Last year, we were the HP Executive Scorecard Partner of the Year. I'm sure we would have received it this year, but they decided not to give that award out. But we've done a significant amount of work with Executive Scorecard, and that, for example, has a connector directly into PPM, ALM, I think there's about 10 different HP applications now that feed information directly into Executive Scorecard. So if you're interested in looking at that level, feel free to ask me questions at the end. I can certainly give you information on that as well. A quick view of the other products and services that we have. Kind of on the left is really where I fit with Executive Scorecards, big data, a lot of things we just talked about. We also do work in ALM. PPM is really has always been our biggest area, but these are the areas specific to strategy planning and governance that we also focus on. So now for the reporting, kind of the question we get asked a lot is, how is the Business Objects Reporting Accelerator that we've developed different from the out-of-the-box solution? And for those that are familiar with business objects that you get out of the box, you probably know right away just by looking at these screenshots that the visualization is much improved over the reports that we put together. And so what I'm going to do is I've got two slides to show you the comparison. So this right here slide shows you the out-of-the-box, what you get with business objects for PPM out-of-the-box. There are 4 reports that you have, and then each of those reports do have some drill-down capabilities. And what HP has done is there's a reporting database that you'll have to set up, and within Business Objects, which is you also have to set up Business Objects on a separate application environment. It has 5 different universes, and this is really how the data gets from the database into the report. And what they've done is they've segmented all the data in PPM into different subject areas. So you have your time management, financial management, resource management, project management, and everything's kind of segmented. And that alone poses a number of challenges. One thing we noticed before we embarked on this endeavor of actually coming up with our own reporting solution is we used to do a lot of training for PPM business objects reporting, and we found it very, very difficult to develop reports. Not only for us as developers, but also trying to train people was incredibly difficult. If you look at this example on the left, this is what I would view as otherwise a pretty typical report. It's a list of my projects that are in progress. And you can see that in order to create a report like this out of the box, I would have to create multiple queries to achieve this. To get my high-level project information, my dates, my health indicators, I'd have to go and write a query against what's referred to as this PPM universe. I then have to go back into the financial management universe to get my financial information, and maybe even my resource management or my time management universe to get additional information. And then I have to figure out a way to assemble all this data together at the report level. And so as a result, the user adoption was very low, and it continues to be a challenge today. They just have not addressed that. The other issue or challenge that we noticed is that there's a lot of data that you simply cannot get to from the out-of-the-box solution. And I listed a few of them here. This isn't everything, but this is a few we've actually addressed. In your financial summary, your benefit information is not available. All your project workflow data is not available, as well as your program and portfolio detail data. So here's what we've done with our reporting package. We've leveraged the same database, so we're not reinventing what they've already done. And so today, if you already have business objects up and running for PPM, our solution would deploy in a matter of minutes. So you would just take our content and deploy it in your environment. If you don't have BO set up, you can certainly deploy it, or we can certainly help you with that. And we would set that up, and then we would apply all of our content onto there. So one of the big differentiators with our solution is you'll notice on the left we've actually consolidated the metadata layer, or the universe, into one universe. So now I can create a report very easily against one universe. I don't have to figure out technically how am I going to join all my data together. This alone has been a game changer just for trying to train users on how to create reports, and that in turn has led to much better user adoption. In addition, we've taken the 4 out-of-the-box reports and redeveloped those against our package, so you're not losing any of the out-of-the-box reports if you choose to use those. And on top of that, we've created, I think we're up to well over 30 reports as well, and those also include dashboards, which you don't get today with the out-of-the-box solution. So the report development is significantly simplified, and we have training materials for everyone from a casual user who just needs to be able to go in there and run reports all the way up to a power user. Some of the other things we've done is we've actually significantly improved the integration with PPM. So now whenever you go to PPM, you can access all of your reports from PPM. You don't have to go to a separate link to Business Objects. The look and feel is very consistent, and you can do everything as far as run a report, save it to Excel, save it to PDF, develop reports. They can all be done directly through your PPM portlet. So much better, and I'll actually show you that in just a couple of minutes. As I mentioned, the entire package can be deployed in minutes. Very easy to deploy. We typically give about probably a couple of hours realistically to deploy everything. We'll be working with your business objects team, or if you don't have one, we can certainly help with that. And once it's deployed, we usually recommend spending a couple of days going through and configuring all of your custom fields. So if you can imagine all of your user-defined fields, all of those are readily available. It's just a matter of giving names to those and naming them, and then making them available through the universe. But that information is there. So here's a quick overview of the portlet. We're actually going to show this first when I do the live demo, but you can see that all of your reports now are available right through your portlet directly within PPM, and you don't have a separate hyperlink or a separate page you have to go out to. It's all integrated within PPM. All the reports are available. They're categorized. Almost all the reports that we've developed are parameterized, which means I can run it for a different time period, a different project manager, a different program, however I want. Very easy to run these reports. And the last note on here is this package is compatible with all versions of PPM that you have, whether you're on an older version, or in this case I'll be demoing it on the latest version of PPM. It's compatible with the latest version as well. And here's a quick overview of the different reports and dashboards that we have. Okay, so let me jump into a demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to PPM, and I'm going to log in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my dashboard, and this is where I've set up the operational reports. Okay. Now, once this portlet opens, what you have here are 2 different windows. On the top is a list of all the reports that are available, and they're organized by dashboards. For project management, we have quite a few reports out there. Projects in progress, average project duration. If you're trying to understand projects not started, a very big list of reports that are available out of the box for projects. Underneath proposal, we also have quite a few as well for your intake process. Request details, this can give you a list of all your proposals in flight, or if you want to look for a specific project, you can certainly run it for that as well. If you're looking for projects that have not yet started, but it's going to start within the next 30 days, you have those, as well as 30-day, 60-day run rate. And also if you're trying to track how many proposals are being canceled, you can run that as well. Under timesheet management, we do have a timesheet compliance report. The resource management, there's a couple here. There's the demand capacity, and then there's the work type available capacity and unmet demand. And underneath financial management, we have the financial summary report. And the last folder, this is where we'll actually go into, this actually is a link that gets you into your business objects favorites folder, where you can go in there, and if you have a report that you decide to save, you can save any of these reports to your favorites folder. I can schedule it, I can run it, I can do whatever I want and manage that from my favorites folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 reports, and then we're actually going to develop a report to kind of showcase the consolidated universe that I talked about earlier. So the way this works is I select a report, I'll go ahead and choose projects in progress. That report will immediately come into view down below. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize this navigation list to maximize my screen here. And this report is something, all the reports can be scheduled. In this case, this report was scheduled. It gives you a list of all reports that are active, and it shows you all the high-level information about the project, your health indicators, key project dates, and then it has some of your financial metrics off to the left. And it's a pretty big report. This particular report has 5 pages of project. Now, typically, if it's a PM, they're probably not interested in running for all these different projects, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this report, and I have a parameter. I have 3 options here. I can run it for a specific project, or I can run it for a specific program, or I can run it for a specific project manager. So I'll go through a couple options really fast. So the project name, what I'll do is I'll come down and I'll select a project in the list and run that. And this will go out and return the information just for the one project that I'm interested in this case, Web for One World. I can then go back into the report and I can run it for a program. And let's go ahead and choose the Black Diamond Initiative. Run this. And I get back all the projects that belong to the Black Diamond Initiative. The other thing we've done that we've added to the reporting package is there are hyperlinks all throughout the reporting environment. So I can go from a project directly back into PPM and take me right into PPM from any source. This works for a project, any kind of a request, a demand, a portfolio, program, scope change, risk, issue. We have the ability to hyperlink everything back into PPM from a report. And again, our PPM is a bit slow, so I'll let that run. We can go back to that window in just a minute. And then I'll run this one more time to show you how you can run this for a project manager. So again, just a good way to, this report's very flexible and having different ways to run the report. And you can certainly modify these however you want. Very easy to change. You can change these within a matter of minutes. If you decide you want to rearrange the report structure, you want to bring in more information, take information out that you're not interested in, or if you want to add more parameters, that can be done very easily, and it can also be done directly through this window if you give that access to certain administrators to do that. Jump over, and you can see this report, this Web for One World actually opened back up into PPM in a new window. I'll close this back down. I can also save this to, let's go to save this to PDF. And it immediately comes in PDF. It has all the formatting maintained. And you can certainly save to Excel as well. So let me go back up and let's take a look at one other report. Let's look at the work type available capacity and unmet demand. So again, this is a report that we already have scheduled, and this shows you by work type by role, looking forward, the unmet versus the capacity month over month. And then it shows your total unmet and total capacity for those months. It goes through the end of the year. And then if you'll notice on the second tab, we can also breaks it out by the underutilized roles. And again, it shows you in the same format. I can also add this drill filter here, and I can actually change this around. So if I'm looking at roles, go up in here to I can filter this for different resource pools. If I want to look at a specific resource pool, I can slice and dice right through the report as well. And we'll go ahead and export this one to Excel and see how this looks. So again, very easy to export this. And now we have this in Excel. All the formatting's maintained. And I have all my tabs. Oops, sorry, I'm on the wrong slide there. There we go. There's Excel. And the last tab, I didn't show you this one. This shows you the constraint rules where you've overcommitted your resources. Okay, let's go ahead and save this report. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Save As. And I'm going to save this to my Favorites folder. I'll put a date on here in case I want to refer back to this report. Now, if I come up here to the navigation list and I go up here to my Favorites folder, my report should be sitting there. And there it is. So here's my report I just ran, and I can open this back up again anytime. At this point, this is now my own personal copy of the report. I can modify the report. I can choose to schedule the report, whatever I want to do. But this helps save that snapshot for you directly within PPM. And one thing I wanted to show you earlier, I wasn't seeing before. There's other build. You can not only can you drill by resource pool, role name. You can also, and this goes for any report, but this report set to where you can also change it from FTE to hours to person days, and it'll automatically update to show you that. So here we have FTE by month, or if I want to change this to person days, I can do that as well. So a very flexible report. And let's show one more report. Actually, let's show a dashboard, and then we can go and actually develop a report. So let's go to the project dashboard. And like the other reports, this one has a couple different parameters. I can run it for a specific project name, for a program name, or for a specific project manager. So let's first run it for a program. And I'll just pick this top one up here, ACS Demo. And this will go out and bring in back all the information for all the projects that belong to that program. So what we have here is shows you across the top, it has different financial information, your actual capital versus operating. It shows forecasts and actuals, and we've added a budget depletion line and an actuals cumulative line. It also shows your labor versus non-labor. And as you move down, we have the task metrics that shows across all these projects how many tasks are on time or how many are late starting. And then it also shows you, let me minimize this, let me pick a specific project, a bit too much for this one. And it'll show you for each project, you can then slice and dice this and get the project activity distribution. Let me run this for a specific project. Let's do Web for One World. So here we go. So here we can see the whole dashboard, project activity distribution, schedule versus actual effort. And as you go down, it has all of the issues by priority, the number of risks, and based on their impact and probability, any scope changes that are identified, and then it has the project risk to value chart. And at the bottom, you have your timesheet information, timesheets by status, actuals, billable versus non-billable, and also your timesheet actuals by month, so you can see how that project's progressing. As we jump over to the project details, this, like we saw earlier in the in-progress report, it does give me all the high-level details about that project. And if I go to the work plan, it has a work plan view, which has the completion, cost variance, schedule variance, as well as all your key dates and milestones. And it has a financial summary, which gives you all your financial summary information for the project. Next, it has issues, so all your issues are here. So here, for example, I have this project has 7 issues, all open, and again, I can drill into these. This can take me directly into that project issue in PPM. So although I'm in PPM, I can actually open up a new window still within PPM, take a look at that issue, maybe make some comments on the issue, save it, and go right back into my report. Okay. I'll go ahead and close this window. The next tab shows your open risks. Again, these also have direct links directly back into PPM to those risks, project risks. Another tab for all the scope changes. And the last one shows all your timesheet information by week. And it shows all the resources. And you can come up here on this tab, you can filter by project in the event you're running this for a program. When you have multiple projects, you can slice and dice by project, or you can also select a specific person as well. You can show that individual week over week. So let me run this by program one more time to show you something else. Let's run it by project manager this time. There we go. The same concept. This is ran for a program. And what's different about this one, again, you can slice and dice based on the different projects that belong to that program. The entire dashboard will update based on that project selected. But also on the project details, whenever you select the program, it gives you all the high-level summary of that program as well at the top. And then down below, you have, like we saw earlier, the list of all the projects that make up that program. And we can also save this to PDF. And you get the entire report in PDF. It has all of its navigations. I can jump from tab to tab. This shows actually all of the projects, work plans for all the projects. So, very big report. Okay, the last thing I want to do, let's step back into my report here. We're going to go ahead and create a report. So to create a report, we're going to go to our favorites folder because this is what's going to take us into business objects. And now I can minimize this navigation list. And now let's create a report. So we're going to create a new Web Intelligence document. And the consolidated universe is called PPM Master. And this replaces all of the 5 out-of-the-box universes. Now, I don't have time on this webinar, but in the past I've done a webinar where I've showed we would create the report I'm going to create now, and I would create it in using the out-of-the-box universes. It would take about probably 12 to 15 minutes. I then created that exact same report using the consolidated universe, and it took less than 90 seconds. So the time difference is considerable, not to mention just the complexity is dramatically less. So I'm going to first minimize my toolbar to maximize my space here. And let's create a pretty basic report. So here, let me first walk through the universe. So here you have all your information available, all your request information. This could be demand information. Whatever you have, you can go to the request information for. The project information is separated out. So you have all of your project information, your header, all your health indicators, your project details, your project work plan, and all the information for the work plan is available. Issues, as well as all the details, your project risks, your scope changes. And again, similar for proposals, we have the header and the detail information. Further down, we have the program. So here's one in the out-of-the-box universe. All you have is the program name. We've actually added everything else from the status to the notes, the program manager, business objective, all the health indicators, the benefits. This is all new that's not available out of the box. With portfolio, again, none of this is available out of the box. We do have this available through this consolidated universe. All the asset information is available. Your financial summary with all your key dates, measures, all the timesheet information. Psychometrics, this is new. This is if you look at if you go to a project and at the bottom, your workflow, all that information is now readily available to report on through the consolidated universe. And we've also added all your resource demand information is also available. So it's very easy to find the information. It's all organized and categorized. Your demand, your capacity, and your effort, everything's available. We've also added some custom objects. So if you want to build a schedule report that runs for, a good example is I want to run a timesheet report, but I don't have to log in every Monday and run the report. I can build a report for timesheets and schedule to run to say, give me all the timesheets that were submitted in the past week or past 2 weeks. And because it uses the system date, you can use these types of objects to be able to make that dynamic. So once you schedule it, you can forget about it. It'll just run every single Monday, and it'll always look at the prior 2 weeks or prior month or prior year or whatever you're trying to run for. So let's create a really quick report. Let's bring in the project name. I'm going to bring in the project number, and this is the hyperlink. So this allows me to actually hyperlink back into PPM. If I choose to not get the hyperlink, I can certainly just bring in just the project number with no linking. And let's bring in the status. I will come down to the health indicators. We have 2 versions for this. We have the just simply the text version, which gives you red, yellow, green, or we also have the image version. So I'll choose the image versions for these. And I'll just pick the overall health. I'll bring them all in. And now we go into the details, and I want to get a couple dates. I'll get the project start date, and I want the planned finish date. And let's bring in come down to the financial summary, and let's bring in some financial information. So let's bring in the total forecast cost, the approved budget, and the actual cost. And let's bring in the category, the labor type, and the expense type. Now what I'm going to do is I want to run this for a specific project. So I'm going to take the project, I'm going to drag it down to my filter, I'm going to make this a prompt, and now I can run this. So I'm presented with a list of projects. I'll go ahead and pick that Web for One World example we used earlier. And I'll run this. And you get back all your data. So now let's do some quick formatting. I'm going to first remove my expense type, labor type, and category from this report because it's going to duplicate my rows, and at this point I don't want that. So now I have one row back. Now you'll notice these health indicators, it has all this text in here. Well, that's because these are hyperlinks. So all I have to do is make this, convert it to recognize it as an image, and then I'll get those health indicators come into view. Same with the project number. This is a hyperlink, so instead of the text, I'm going to change this to hyperlink, and now I can drill right back out to PPM. And now what I want to do is I'm going to create another report. Let's create a mini dashboard here. And I'm going to come back to my set of data. So I have all my data here. I now need to do something else with these different financial measures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in let's start with the expense type. And let's bring in the actual cost and the forecast cost. And I'm just going to minimize this to capital and operating. Now what I want to do is let's turn this into a chart. I can now take this and let's put it back over here on my main report. And now I can start building a mini dashboard. I'll come back over to this report and we will change the expense type. Let's bring in the labor type. And let's just do the actuals, and I'm also going to convert this to a pie chart. Now when I view the results, I have this viewed as a pie chart. I can now take this pie chart and put it on my first tab. And we'll go back to this chart and let's change the labor type over to category. And let's convert this into let's do a vertical bar chart. And let's go ahead and bring in the forecast and the actual on this one. Forecast cost and the actual cost. And I'm going to, again, take this and move it over here and paste it. And then at this point, it's just a matter of formatting. Probably spend another 5 minutes going through and getting the right formatting. Obviously, I'd probably want to change the coloring of my charts. I can, everything you can do in Excel, you can do in Business Objects in terms of formatting and shading and adding logos. You can do all that directly through Business Objects as well. And then I'm not going to waste any more time formatting this, but let me go ahead and save this. So let's see, I have it the way I want it. I'll save this to my favorites. I'll call this My Dashboard. Click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back out of this report and just go into my favorites folder. I think I saved it to favorites. Let's view this. Okay, good. And I have my report. And at this point, you can do whatever you want with it. I can come back in here and choose to schedule this. I can run it for a different project. I can schedule. I can do whatever I want to do with the report. And everything is, as you can see, is self-contained within PPM.